Okay, perfect. Guys, welcome. Thank you for joining. I'm hanging out with a man, Mr. Tarrasque, right now. Thank you so much for joining me for this interview. I've been looking forward to this since late December. And finally, it's the start of a new year. Super excited. Some good things to come. I remember seeing your post in the D&D group on Facebook. And I can't believe how fast you've grown, and the videos that you've outputted, they've been fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah, thus far, and I'm super excited to see what's on the horizon. So I just want to take a second. Thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Thanks for having me, because, well, it's funny you say it. I started to post on the Facebook, Dungeons & Dragons Facebook page, and I literally woke up the next day. I had 36 subscribers when I made that post, and I literally woke up the next day, like overnight, with 560 subscribers, and I was like, what? I have 3 videos. Now what? I have to create content for these people, because otherwise they will run away or something. I don't know.
No, that's great.
They will have pitchforks and stuff like that. But yeah,
I love it.
It's been great.
I love it. So with this, I'd like to just pick your brain a little bit, get into your mind, do like a pretty basic interview here. So play along with me. This is more for, I don't know, I'd say the fans, and then we'll just talk some D&D at the end of this, and I want to get your opinion on some stuff. So first, what made you pick the name Mr. Tarrasque?
I actually have no idea.
What? How anticlimactic!
I know. No, really, I was building a fighter character, right? That I was looking for a name for at the moment that I started my channel. I decided to start my channel, and this character was named Mr. Tarrasque. That's what his name was. Because I was flipping through the monsters manual, and I've never used a Tarrasque against a party. Never. I've never fought in. I've never been able to fight a Tarrasque. I've never done anything with a Tarrasque, and I've always thought about it as the ultimate creature to kill or to use as a dungeon master. So I was creating this character, and then I got bored, and I was like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I saw my entire pile of books lined up next to my desk, and I was like, I'm just gonna review these books and then see what happens. I'm just gonna give my opinion on these books, and then it asked me for a name, and I just typed in Mr. Tarrasque. That's what I did.
Boom, and the legacy of Mr. Tarrasque was born.
And now people keep calling me Mr. T. So
it fits. It's smooth. It rolls off the tongue.
So now I end my emails with greetings, Mr. T. So.
My next question was actually, have you ever fought a Tarrasque in a campaign?
No.
But you just, not yet.
I have been playing for Dungeons & Dragons for 17 years, and I've never encountered or used a Tarrasque, which is a shame. And I am still waiting for my players who are now level 8 to someday reach high enough level, because I will never have them create level 20 characters just to fight a Tarrasque. That's not how I want to do things. I really want them to get there, or myself to get there to fight it. The thing is, I've read about the Tarrasque so many times that it's almost impossible for me to fight it. Or, of course, a dungeon master should use an older version or some other version. For example, from the book of the Tarrasque, which they are sending to me very soon, which has some stuff from the old school Tarrasque to put in the 5th edition version. But yeah, I really want to use it, and my players on my table are such power builders that they. I think they can beat the Tarrasque when they're level 14 or 15 or something. I'm not even joking. I mean, they're now level 8, and they have been defeating challenge rating 16 monsters.
Oh wow!
And I'm not. I mean, a Kraken for them is like, okay, that's dangerous, but let's do it. And they just...
that's only one of my 8 encounters today, so where's the other 8?
Yeah, and the problem is, I'm always thinking like, am I not doing enough? And I am a very I've been dungeon mastering a lot, and I use everything in the book. I mean, if a creature can do something that kills somebody, I will use it. I have no problem killing them. I have no problem killing players. Absolutely.
There's no
problem.
safe word with Mr. Tarrasque.
No
There's no safe word at all.
And still, they beat every single thing. And I have this one guy at my table who is playing a Warforged fighter / something else.
Love it.
And all the other guys at my table, there's 5 of them, and so the 4 other guys have already all rolled up 3 new characters, and this one Warforged is still walking around like, oh, you can't touch me. I've got 26 armor class, and if you hit me, I just use shield, and then I have 29, and if you hit me, then I just use something else. I have 37 or something like that. No problem. And I was like, what? So even if Tarrasque has a lot of trouble hitting that guy because it has plus 12, so it still needs to roll pretty decent to be able to touch him.
You know what? I've always told people as well that the difference between a casual player and a optimizer or power gamer is light and day. Yeah. I mean, if you have a few casual gamers at the table, they can get a lot of stuff done, and I feel like 5th edition really caters to those players. But Absolutely. If you've got some people that like to optimize, like they're gonna go through the Tomb of Annihilation like it was a fair, like it was a joke. So I mean, really playing around with that. If you have 5 optimizers in your group, you're gonna have to push them to the limit because these guys want challenges.
I actually have 2 optimizers. One semi-optimizer who is learning the traits from the other optimizers, and then there's 2 guys who just sit back and are like, "What? It's my turn. It's my turn. Where's my D20? Where's my D20? My turn? Okay, just roll my D20." And they're having fun. They're having a lot of fun. And then I have one hardcore role player who just he doesn't speak a lot, but he makes his character act in character. So the things he does in character is really role playing heavy. So I've got a great thing going on. That's for one group at least. I have 2 groups. I have another group where most of my players are female, which is an entire different story because...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a whole new challenge. How do you do it?
That's funny you ask because I have a group with my girlfriend and then the power builder from the other party and his girlfriend play in this party, and then a very good female friend of my girlfriend also plays in there. So there's 3 women in there and 2 men as players. And basically I give them a setup, I give them a story, I give them a hook, and they just say, okay, we're going that way. And they just turn around. And it's like, let me see that map. What? The ruins of the City of Dragons. We want to go to the ruins of the City of Dragons. I'm like,
I'll take 1 ticket, please. I'll take a 1-way ticket.
I'm like, okay, let me see. Okay, no problem. And I just go random encounter on that one. Which, by the way, just a quick shout out to these books for people who have problems with females going off track. Prepared is are very good books. Just some random encounters in here, like you can place them anywhere. So very cool if somebody goes off track. The only problem with that is if you use those books, your players will know they've gone off track. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, it's a supplement. You can use your imagination. That's what the game's about.
I did use my imagination. I did use my imagination. I after the game, they actually asked me, did you just come up with all that stuff? And I was like, yeah, on the fly, It was like, wow. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's DM 101, improvise.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Improvise 101, right?
And you know, about improvisation, thing is, the world around us in real life is completely random. I mean, you can go outside and you don't know if you're going to encounter a red car or a blue car or a truck or a bulldozer or whatever. So why not improvise as a dungeon master? Because that makes the world random, and for me, that makes the world feel real. If I feel like getting an NPC in their face that's an angry gnome or a friendly orc, on the fly, then that makes the world feel real for me, at least.
Oh, absolutely. This interview is improvised, so I mean, we're just going with it.
Just talking Dungeons
Oh
and
yeah.
Dragons.
Oh, I love it. I can do this all day. All right, moving on. Yeah, you said you've been playing D&D for how many years now?
16 or 17 years. 16 odd years, let's say 17 years. Yeah.
Okay, 17 years. What edition did you start with?
Third edition. Yeah.
Okay.
It was right. I think it was right on the where third edition went to 3.5. I mean, we had some 3.0 books and some 3.5 books, and we were just using all of them. But that's how I learned. Yeah, they just threw me in there. I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
Trial by fire.
Yeah.
Trial by fire.
They were like, so what do you want to do? And this is very funny. My first character was a paladin named Aladin.
Yeah, you said in one of your videos, Aladin the Paladin.
I was like, what is a paladin? Oh yeah, this holy fighter who believes in a god and strikes and smites because he has godly powers. And I'm like, awesome. No, what's your name? I was like, oh, I have to come up with a name. Paladin. Aladin the Paladin. I mean, I was
Rolls
14,
off the
yeah, I was
It's easy
14
to
years old,
remember.
so yeah.
And did you get into D&D just with a group of friends? Were your other friends into it that kind of dragged you into it? Or were you all starting off as, you know what, this seems like a cool game to play, let's get into it?
I actually, my best friend at school had been playing it for like, I don't know, a year or 2, 3, maybe longer, I don't know. And we were talking, I think, about Lord of the Rings and stuff, and he was like, hey, I play this game, it's really weird. And he told me what the game was, and when I tell people what Dungeons & Dragons is, people always look at me like, you're such a nerd? How can you
yeah.
How can you ever play?
Oh, yeah.
But when he told me what Dungeons & Dragons was, I mean, he had to say one sentence. Like, really, he was like, yeah, I play this game where you play your own character in a fantasy world and you can just do whatever you want, and one guy is a dungeon master and he tells a story, and I was like, okay.
Hook, line, and sinker.
If that exists, I'm in.
Awesome.
And they just put me at the table, and I was like, and I saw these dice, and I was like, and they just started playing, and I was just sitting there. What the hell are these guys? What are these guys doing? And I was like, this is amazing. This is so fucking amazing. And yeah, I really got starstruck. I don't know. That was for me. I never quit Dungeons and Dragons after that.
Oh,
and that guy from school, my best friend from school, I'm really, really grateful for him bringing me to their friends table and me playing every Wednesday. We played for my entire 6 or 7 years I've been to that school, so that's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I had a somewhat similar experience, except none of us knew how the game was played, so we played it really, really wrong and kind of made our own version for a couple weeks. But then dropped it off for like 10 years, and I just recently got back into it, and it's like the best thing ever again. So it's just like reliving it.
But you know what the great
is
thing
fantastic.
is about playing it wrong? Who freaking cares? I mean now with the internet, everybody is asking, how do I do this? How do I do that? Okay, I saw a post on the Facebook thing, like, I want to pick up a goblin, and then I want to smash the other goblin with that goblin. What do I roll? And I just want to answer, and I don't want to be the dick, but I really want to answer, dude, ask your dungeon master, because Dungeons and Dragons is the player says he wants to do something, and the dungeon master says what you need to do to see if you succeed. That's the rule of Dungeons and Dragons. Who cares if you're playing it wrong? There is no playing it wrong. I mean,
exactly.
I think we played it wrong in the beginning. I mean, there was internet, but there was no internet like now, like 115,000 people in one page all giving their opinion. At that point, you just sit around with 5 guys around the table. Hey, how do you interpret this rule? Like this, and I do it like this. Okay, then we do it like that. Okay, let's go. Dungeon Master's call, and just do it. So, yeah.
Oh, we're breaking up just a little bit here. No, I got you back. Awesome. I think that's an awesome philosophy. So simple, and I hope that other DMs that watch this really take that consideration. Roll with the punches and let your characters have fun. That's super important. Yeah, use the goblin as a weapon or a club. Why not?
Yeah,
right?
why not? And if
I
you
feel
don't
like
know
that captures.
if you don't know exactly what the rule is, just stare at your dungeon master until he says something. Then he says, "Okay, roll strength." I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, we'll move on to another question. Actually, this actually ties into things quite well. What's a small piece of advice that you would give a brand new dungeon master coming in that's going to dungeon master for the very first time? Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, he or she doesn't know what they're doing, and their friends don't know what they're doing all that well. What's something that you could say to them? Nice.
No, my biggest piece of advice that I always give is just sit down and play. And I know that sounds really weird, but don't let it intimidate you. Play like you think the rules should be played. Play like you feel like it should be played, because it's a role-playing game. It's not a system that needs to be cracked. It's not a system that needs to be optimized. It's a system that is there for you to have fun. So just sit down and play. Just play. But the biggest, maybe, if you know any players that play, join their game. That's for me the best way of learning Dungeons and Dragons, is playing with experienced players. That's, I think, my biggest piece of advice. But if you are like 4 guys who want to pick it up and none of you have experience, I mean, the starter set is a really good start. Get some goblins in there, get a story in there, and just play. And don't, also there is this campaign in the starter set, and I have this guy actually who I know who is dungeon mastering for the first time with players who are playing for the first time, and he keeps asking me questions, which I love, by the way, because I always like to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. But you shouldn't be scared to not follow this book exactly how it's written, and that's very important. That's what people forget. People are used to playing Monopoly, which has a certain set of rules, which you can't break. But that's not how Dungeons and Dragons works. I think. That's my opinion.
All right. If I go silent or don't respond to something right away, I apologize. I'm cutting out like I am. Just wait for a second to cut back into things.
Okay.
I apologize.
No problem.
Okay, I got that. I picked that one up. Okay, I think we're back. Okay. Awesome. And you know what? Yeah, I got you. And I think the starter set's super affordable too. I'm in Canada right now, and I think the starter set's only like 20 Canadian dollars.
It's 20 euros here, yes. 20
is it 20 euros?
Yeah.
And is it the Mines of Phandelver that comes with it?
It's the Mines of Phandelver that comes with it. It comes with a set of dice, which is not enough to play Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, you need more. Technically, it's enough, but it's not enough. It comes with 5 pre-made character sheets. Like pre-made characters, level 1 to 5, pre-made. And some monsters, some basic rules, everything you need. I mean, it says right here on the box, it says everything you need to start playing the world's greatest role-playing game. And guess what? Everything you need to start playing Dungeons and Dragons is right in here. And it's great value. I think, personally, it's great value.
Awesome. Right on. I've heard a lot of good things about the Mines of Phandelver. Personally, I haven't got a chance to play it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. Moving on. I'm gonna throw a curveball at you right now, and we're gonna play a little bit of a speed round.
Okay.
So I'm gonna rapid fire these things. May not make sense to you, but I'm gonna ask you like 8 or 9 questions, and just say one or the other, and it'll be yes or no. Are you ready?
Okay.
Blue or green dragon?
Green dragon.
Cleric or paladin?
Paladin.
Out of the Abyss or Curse of Strahd?
Strahd.
Martial or magic?
Martial.
Okay. Range or melee?
Melee.
Lich or beholder?
Beholder.
Nice. Combat or roleplay?
Roleplay. Sorry, roleplay. Yeah.
Skill check or saving throw?
Skill check.
Mage hand or minor illusion?
Minor illusion.
Wisdom or charisma?
Charisma. Depends. Depends.
Charisma on that one?
Charisma for the paladin.
Okay.
Okay, you're breaking up again.
Oh, shoot. I'm cut out of this second a little bit.
Maybe reactivate your camera. That would work.
That's wrong. Oh, there we go. I got you.
There you are.
Yes. Okay, right on. Perfect. Thanks for playing along. Let's move on to D&D is becoming crazy popular, and Perkins himself said in the last year it's like the most successful D&D has been in the past, I think, 20 years. Why do you think that is? And do you think it's going to be on such a steep incline through 2018?
I think it has something to do with pop culture. There's a lot of pop culture, and it started with the first time I realized this was the series Community. I don't know if you know it. I don't know if you watch it.
Yeah.
They play Dungeons and Dragons in there, which is a long time ago, but it's just a start. And then, of course, The Big Bang Theory did some Dungeons and Dragons, and now, of course, you have Stranger Things. And you have some celebrities that start to play the game. And when celebrities do things, people tend to copy it.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, you don't have to be a nerd to play Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, I wasn't a nerd when I started. I mean, I was just a normal guy doing sports, and I became a nerd because of Dungeons and Dragons. But,
you're gonna scare people away. Don't do that.
No, I mean, yeah, famous people are starting to play Dungeons and Dragons, and I think there's more going on. I think the people behind Dungeons and Dragons, I mean the marketing people behind Dungeons and Dragons, are really plugging Dungeons and Dragons into pop culture. Because since the start of 5th edition, I really noticed more and more references to Dungeons and Dragons. The last couple of years, since 5th edition, more and more in our pop culture, Dungeons and Dragons. For example, the book Ready Player One. In March, Steven Spielberg will be releasing a film of that. It's a very cool book. If you are into the 80s, then it's a very, very, very cool book. It has a lot of references to Dungeons and Dragons. So in our pop culture, I think that's the main reason. And I kind of like it.
Good answer. No, that's a good answer. Do you think it'll be just as popular in 2018?
I think we are really going at a peak right now. And maybe it will go a little bit longer, maybe 2018, 2019. But just like here in Belgium, we had a couple of years that poker was really, really popular. And it was like for 3 years, everybody played poker. Like everybody played No Limit Hold'em poker, Texas Hold'em poker, and everybody was. And 2 years or 3 years later, it just stopped. Nobody is now playing poker anymore because everybody lost his money to me. No, that's not true. So I think. No, I don't know. Dungeons and Dragons is way more addictive because I've been teaching Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if I can count those people on two hands, but maybe 15, 16 people learned Dungeons and Dragons through me, and none of them stopped. One of them stopped, but it's because he didn't have time, because he is in the army and he doesn't have time anymore. And he told me a few weeks ago, like, I really miss Dungeons and Dragons, so that's the difference. Everybody who starts playing it keeps playing it. Maybe you stop for a couple of years, but you will.
But you're thinking about it. I know you're thinking about it. Awesome. Okay. Xanathar's Guide to Everything is a huge rule expansion for D&D 5th edition.
Yes.
Personally, I love it. I read it all the time. I've read it front to back so many times. My question to you is, are you satisfied with it?
I am satisfied with it, but I have a strong opinion on it. And that
Ooh,
is...
and that's that's it. I was going to ask, is there anything you liked or disliked, and what would you have changed about something?
I like a lot. I like
Okay.
99% of what's in there I like. The thing is that if you are only a player or only a dungeon master, then it is half a book. Because half of it is for DMs and half of it is for players. So if you are like me, a player and a dungeon master, or just somebody who is really interested in both, then it is a really great book. So like you are probably both or just interested in Dungeons & Dragons because you have a YouTube channel on Dungeons & Dragons. So yeah, then it's a very good book, but I think I know where you're going with this one. There's one rule I really don't agree on, and that's sleeping in armor. I mean, no, sorry, I just can't. I can't. Look, I'm gonna explain it.
Here we go. We're going down. I didn't mean to do this, guys.
No,
Here we go.
you're asking about it. Sorry, this is just my opinion. No, this is just a fact. You are a level 6 fighter, okay? Level 6, level 7 fighter. You're wearing chainmail, which is heavy armor. Chainmail, basic heavy armor, chainmail, and you're fighting goblins, and at the end of your day, you're fighting a dragon, and then when the dragon goes down, the mage or the cleric just heals you up half your hit points. Like you feel okay. Oh man, I'm so toast. I'm so toast. Just need to sit down in the corner right here or against this tree right here. You know. Oh, it's the chainmail or the armor on it. I was I mean, I have a buddy, which I said earlier, who is in the army, and I asked him, and he said we have to sleep with our backpacks still attached to our bodies. I mean, they have their water flasks, they have their ammo, they have their gun like this. They're sleeping like this against a tree. I mean...
I feel like there was a good point.
Only if... I get it, but Dungeons & Dragons is supposed to be, for me, a game about heroes, okay? And heroes are a little bit stronger than normal people at level 1. A little tiny bit better at stuff at level 1. So at level 6, you should be able to sleep in armor, no problem. Oh, for a fighter, of course, or a barbarian. I mean, for a mage who wasn't used to armor or something, it's a totally different story. But a fighter who has been wearing it, I don't know, I just don't agree on it.
You know what? There was some points brought up around it because I can't stand the rule myself. I'll never use it. But when comparing mages and all the magical elements of D&D, your imagination is the limit. So there's no kind of milestone or nothing people can relate things to. But when you have martial classes, for example, it's really relatable to our real world. So people start comparing them to what everyday people can do. So there's this kind of unfair, stigma going around, what a fighter can do. I think a fighter should be able to sleep in armor. This guy's a fighter. These guys are like trained military fighters. They're deployed as monsters almost. Like these guys are specialists. Like sleeping in armor is the last thing of these guys worry. Like really, if the last thing that they're thinking or worrying about, it's like they're the barrier between your squishy friends and the Tarrasque standing in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So like it's a weird rule that they implemented. But the interview's concluded. I just wanted your opinion on sleeping in armor. That's all we wanted, really.
There's another thing. There's another thing about that. I, for myself, when I look at the real world, because people start looking at the real world, you are right. I sleep well when I feel safe.
Yes.
So if I don't feel safe, I don't sleep well. So you can say that a fighter has to wear his armor. In a dungeon or in a forest where he knows there are monsters, where he knows there could be kobolds just attacking them, he has to sleep in armor because that makes him feel safe. Because that makes him feel like, okay, I'm keeping this on, keeping my axe.
That's a really good counterpoint.
My axe is right here. My my helmet is next to me. I mean, my armor is on my body. I mean, if a goblin attacks our camp right now, I'm gonna fuck him up. That's basically how I see it.
No, I think that's a really good point as well. All right, so we'll move on. We'll move on to that because I think we're both pretty unanimous on that one. Sleeping in armor, guys.
I saw your
sleep in
video,
armor.
by the
Get
way.
cozy.
I saw your video and I was like, okay, thanks. There's another guy who doesn't appreciate sleeping in
Oh,
armor.
I think most of the community is on our side on this one.
Yeah.
All right. In Xanathar's guide in particular, which subclasses are you most excited to see make an appearance?
I am actually, I'm a fighter guy. I play fighters, and fighters. And sometimes I play another class, but after that I will play a fighter again. I liked samurai, not because of it being a samurai, because I don't think the abilities have anything to do with the fact that it is a samurai. But I just like the abilities. I just like the specialist with the sword. For me, it's more like a specialist with one kind of weapon, which a samurai basically is because he can fight with the katana. But I like it, and of course the other guy, what's that? Cavalier. How do you say it? Cavalier.
Cavalier?
Yeah.
Cavalier? I think it's Cavalier.
Yeah, I like him because they gave him some cool stuff on a horse, but they also gave him some cool battle mastery type stuff when he's in a dungeon, not on a horse, not mounted on a horse. So I like him. But like the arcane archer and stuff like that, I just never play archers. So, and I never play anything. Okay, I play stuff that has to do with magic, but after that I stop playing that and I play martial again. So, yeah. For me, the samurai is pretty cool. And I have a friend of mine, Tahina, which I'm playing an online game with, who is playing a Death Domain Cleric. And that's pretty awesome. Isn't that Death Domain? No, Grave Domain.
Death Domain Cleric.
No, Grave.
Yeah, Grave.
And
That's
she can actually heal, like if you're on 0 hit points, and you cast a spell that would heal you for 1d8, you regain 8 hit points, so max hit points. Also, she can cast Spare the Dying as a cantrip, as a bonus action from a distance. So, which is, it's very, very cool. It's a very cool domain for the cleric. I really, really like it.
And you know what? It's almost a little bit misleading because when you say Grave Cleric, you think of just offense, like you were bringing everyone to the grave, but it's actually a lot of support as well. I had the pleasure to play beside a Grave Cleric, I think last week, and their Channel Divinity ability, I believe it's called Path to the Grave. A creature gets vulnerability to the next damage type, which is, oh my god, you pair them with a rogue and something's dying the next turn, right? So it's an awesome.
You know what you should
awesome
pair?
class.
I'm going to tell you what you should pair. If you like Zenith's guides, I've got a pair for you. A couple of mastermind rogues. 2 of them. Now think about that. Think about that for a second. Just think about it. They can both.
I haven't thought about
they
that.
can both use help as a bonus action.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
they're rogues.
And they can,
So rogues, when rogues roll with advantage, they can do certain type of things. So, so 2
not to lay on the hints too thick.
So you can literally like get a couple of twins. Mastermind rogues, like a couple of twin halflings or something like that, just put next to each other and just help each other. Constantly use the help action to gain advantage on attacks and do massive amounts of damage.
You know what? I never thought about that. So I'm super excited to see Hexblade's in there, which is fantastic. There's some subclasses I'm really excited about. The Glamour Bard. Oh, I love the Glamour Bard. I think it's fantastic.
I also like very much the Circle of the Shepherds. Of the druid.
Oh yeah.
So like just it's more flavor than something else, but I'm a role player, so just being able to constantly speak to animals, like constantly. You can speak to whatever animal or plant you encounter. Done deal. It's just great flavor. Yeah, I asked the plant next to me if he saw an orc. Have you seen an orc? I mean,
only in D&D, folks. Only in D&D.
Yeah.
So we looked at the lighter side of Zenith's Guide to Everything. What about Zenith's, if anything, have you been a little bit disappointed about, or that you didn't get to see, or just buyers beware?
Yeah, for me, the only issue I have is that it is a combination of two half books.
Yeah.
And although everything in here, almost everything in here is very, very good. I mean, the Dungeon Master stuff, the random encounters is amazing. It's amazingly well built. Downtime activities. Also the racial feats. I really like the racial feats. Like Dwarven Fortitude, for example. I have actually built a character around Dwarven Fortitude right now, which is very overpowered. I was able to build a level 5 Purple Dragon Knight from...
Oh, Purple Dragon Knight.
Yeah, everybody...
Purple Dragon Knight? What the heck is that? I'm just kidding.
Everybody's like, oh, the Purple Dragon Knight is so underpowered. Okay. I've built a level 5 Purple Dragon Knight, right? He can do, in one turn, he can attack twice, heal himself with a hit die. No, sorry, attack twice, yes? Then he can use a bonus action to use Second Wind. Okay? Then he can use his action search to use a dodge action. And because of using that dodge action, he can spend a hit die. That's what the feat does. So, he is healing himself for about 21 hit points. He is attacking twice. And he is healing 3 of his comrades for 5 hit points each. All in one turn.
You know what?
Boom.
I'm so happy that you're repping the Purple Dragon Knights. I'm so happy that you're doing that. I haven't played beside one yet, or I haven't beat a Purple Dragon Knight myself. Personally, I read it, and I never opened up the page again.
Everybody's like that. Everybody's like that.
And it is still collecting
I am
dust.
actually...
Battle Master for me, baby. Every single day I'll be taking the Battle Master.
Everybody is dissing the Purple Dragon Knights, but I am addicted to stuff that looks underpowered on paper. I like stuff that looks underpowered on paper, and then do something like this combination I just told. Just sit at the table, wait for that moment to come, and then you say, okay, I attack twice, heal myself for 20 hit points, and you guys all receive 5 hit points, and I've dodged.
Awesome.
It's like drop the mic moment, like.
Yeah. All right. If you could play D&D with anyone as your DM, who would that DM be?
You want to play?
Yeah, I was going to throw you some curveballs, buddy. I'm going to throw you some curveballs. You got the world at your disposal. If there's someone that could be your DM.
I have a really hard time answering that question because I don't really have any dungeon masters that I really look up to, because I think everybody has his or her style. And there's a lot of people I know because of the pop culture. You have a Chris Perkins. People like Chris Perkins. You have a Matt Mercer. People really tend to love that guy, who is doing an awesome job, by the way. But I don't have that connection to those guys like, oh, I really want him to Dungeon Master for me. So everybody who puts on those shoes and says, I want a DM for me, is a hero. Is a guy who deserves a party to play with. Because it is not an easy job, and people forget how much preparation there goes into it. So no, I don't. I would probably say the late Carrie Fisher, or Mark Hamill,
or
both.
Mark Hamill.
Both.
Co-DMing your game.
Yeah. I mean, they probably don't play, but those are the kind of people that I would like to play with.
Awesome. And you know what? Now that we touched on that subject, DMing is a tough job, and a quick shout out to the DMs that have been DMing for years or just looking to get into it. Thank you guys, because you guys make the world go round. Doesn't matter how many of the modules that we got, this and that. You guys week after week bring something to the table and give a bunch of players to look forward to. So keep DMing, guys. Sometimes it's thankless, and for everyone who's DM'd, we know that. But you guys really make the game possible. So thank you.
So amazingly true. That is.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it.
I once had a question from a DM who was only doing it for like half a year or something, and he told me like one of my players got hit by a creature, and he fell to 0 hit points. He fell unconscious, and he gave me the middle finger. And I was like, dude, that's the most amazing thing. That means he cares.
Yeah.
That means you as a dungeon master made him care about his character. If people start giving you the middle finger and start throwing dice at your face, you are doing a good job as a dungeon master.
Pulling the emotion from the players.
I mean, I've given my girlfriend's character a genie that has 3 wishes. Then the next session, I took it away from her. She still didn't forgive me. She's still angry. And
hell, I'm surprised she's still playing with you.
No, and that's the thing. Yeah. She says she didn't forgive me, but she keeps playing to get her lamp with her genie back. So that means she cares. You know,
cruel
she
and
cares
fantastic.
about it. She wants it back. So that means, for me, yeah, I have when I'm playing with the female group, the mostly female group, they sometimes really scream at me like, no, I never. They get really passionate and loud about it, and I love that. I mean, I really love that. So yeah, sometimes dungeon masters think they are doing a bad job because players get a little bit angry or players get a little bit personal, and I feed off of that. I mean, I just feed off of that. I know that if people get angry, a little bit frustrated, that I'm doing a good job. And don't get me wrong, there is a line. There is a line. I mean, sometimes people just get frustrated because of you doing a bad job. That's just a fact. But you have to really look into that. Like, why are you frustrated? Because you gave me that magic item and now it's gone. Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's okay. That's a frustration. Burn it back.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Yes, the first 2 seasons, but that's because I don't watch series. I mean, Star Wars is getting too much episodes for me, and that's one of the biggest things in my life.
Okay. Well, this next question.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
This next question is: you have basic knowledge of Game of Thrones, so
yeah,
you know the characters.
my girlfriend watches it, so yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Let's say, paint a little bit of picture here. You are about to start a grand adventure, and you have the choice of adding a bard to your party, which is Tyrion Lannister, played by Peter Dinklage, or you have the choice to bring on the barbarian, Conan, which is played by Jason Momoa. Who do you bring with you? So
Conan the Barbarian?
Conan the Barbarian is basically Jason Momoa or Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. Ah, that's the small guy. Peter Dinklage. Yeah. It's the guy who.
And he's the bard.
And he's the robot in the first Destiny game. I would say because I would. My instinct would say Conan, but me being a martial type, I would benefit more from a bard. Because a bard could give me bardic inspiration. You still hearing me? Are you there?
Yes, it's just breaking up a little bit. Okay. And I got you right back.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So yeah, I would say Conan, but then I am a martial type. I play a martial type. If it would be in real life, I would be carrying around a shield and a sword probably. So I would benefit more from a bard.
Oh, perfect.
Because
looking for the well-rounded group.
Yeah, because a barbarian and a fighter, which is very cool, but if I would be a fighter myself, I would benefit more from a guy standing in the back giving me bardic inspiration. And Song of Rest making me sleep in armor.
And healing you and giving you haste. Bards are amazing.
Yeah.
Praise them. Absolutely love them.
Yep.
Awesome answer.
And they are the hardest to roleplay, by the way.
Oh, yeah. When playing a bard, they almost demand roleplay. And you know what? I feel like bards scare a lot of people off because you get a lot of people watching Critical Role and they see how Sam Riegel plays his bard and there's an expectation. But I mean, once you knock that down, go in with nothing, guys. I mean, I play a bard and he's not totally gregarious in your face, but they're so much fun. So much fun. Yeah. And a great time to roleplay as well.
The bards have all the other stuff. That's how I see it. I mean, you got all the characters. These are all the characters, like the fighter and the mage and the wizard, and the bards have all the other stuff. Like, I don't know.
They know what's going on. They get it.
Yeah.
I feel like bards just get it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, we'll go to let's see. Let's do another speed round. Do you want to do another speed round?
Yeah, I am always up for another. I'm just gonna check if I'm still recording. Yes, we're still on. Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Preparation or improv?
Sorry, you were.
This was the worst time for us to disconnect, but it definitely. There we go. I think I'm back here.
I think.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Preparation or improv?
Improv.
Murder or mystery?
Mystery.
Wizard or sorcerer?
Wizards.
Now or later?
Now.
Homebrew or official?
Homebrew.
Tier 1, 2, 3, or 4?
1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. Tier 2.
Money or honor?
Honor.
Short or long campaign?
Long campaign.
All right, I'm satisfied with those.
What are you doing with my answers? I just want to know what you're doing.
Nothing in particular. Just getting in your subconscious mind a little bit, like an illithid.
I'm gonna roll a wisdom save. No, charisma something. I'll just add 5 to my die. I've got 15.
All right, okay. So let's go into a little bit of the philosophy side now, a little bit out of D&D, and a little bit more about what you're doing. So far in your videos, you've been giving reviews and all that kind of stuff, and I think personally you do a fantastic job. Moreover, your personality, I think, really draws people in because you're passionate about it. You can't lie about things like that, especially like today's day and age right now. People know if you're putting on a front, right? And you've done a really good job of showing your passion for the game, which is obviously leading to some success for you. Where do you want to bring like your channel? Like, do you want to contribute? How do you want to keep contributing? What's kind of the, I guess, end goal here for you?
Well, I want to do things without stepping on people's toes. And that's, for example, when somebody, because for 1 or 2 reasons, I don't know why, but people start sending me free stuff, right? I mean, people are sending me books to review on my channel. Like this one, Remarkable Ints and Their Drinks, is an amazing book. This is my next book for a review. I always answer them if they ask me like, can we send you something? I will answer yes, but if I don't like it, I will not review it. Not because you've put your heart and soul into this. And as bad as I think it is, that's my opinion, and people tend to take YouTubers' opinions seriously. And which is a great thing. I try to give good consumer advice. And that's why I don't want to destroy somebody else's work. I would never, ever destroy somebody else's work. I will, of course, say what flaws I think are in a book. I mean, but if the book is on my channel, I am liking it. if it's not on my channel, there's two things that would that could happen, and that is that I've not had yet read it, or I don't like it. That's how I want to do things, and I want to continue doing doing just that. I mean, I've gotten some books from people that, for example, this book. These guys also sent me another book, and the other book I'm not going to review because I just don't think it's really good. And if I don't think it's really good, I'm not going to destroy those guys' work. I mean, that would make me an asshole.
Right. No, awesome. You know what? That's I think that's a good answer as well because these guys obviously do put in their heart and soul into it. So awesome. I'm like that answer. Where do you want to eventually? You're doing the reviews for 2018 so far. Do you eventually want to go into like your own campaign making? Do you think you'll just be doing review videos in 2018, or do you see yourself expanding? There may not be hard plans yet, but do you want to kind of branch out and do you get your fingers in kind of the different aspects of the D&D community?
Yeah, when I have actually thought about that, and I mean, if there is enough credibility for people to like what I do and take my opinion seriously enough, I would probably start writing small adventures or small encounters, just to see if people like it. And I can just tell about it in my videos, like I'm doing a review on something, and I just say, by the way, I have a free PDF, which you can download right there. Check it out, play it, whatever you want, and then just see how it goes from there. I am really winging it. I admit that I am really winging it. I am really just doing reviews, giving my opinion on books, and seeing where it goes. But something I do want to do more than create my own stuff, because I do create my own stuff for my own campaigns. I only play homebrew when I DM. But I like that is kept in those groups. I like that doesn't become official stuff. I like it just in those groups, and we can do with it whatever we want. You know, it's free. It's like no obligations. But something I would like to do is start, like I've set up a Patreon just today, by the way, like DMing for people all around the world. That would be great. I mean, if I could spend my time DMing for all kinds of people all around the world and not lose any money from it, then that would be awesome. That's how I see myself expand, because I'm more of a outgoing type of guy, and I just want people to come to my channel and have a great time and maybe play with me. That's what I want to do. Play with me, or talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe I can just, I don't know, help people out creating their adventures. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, that's I forget where I read it, but where your heart lays, that's the best way you can contribute to people, right? And I mean, that's exactly what you're doing, DMing for people who need it. Another question for you is you had a channel before Mr. Tarrasque. It was a video game channel. We're going to talk a little bit less about that. But how has your kind of philosophy and motivation changed? Because you had this channel that you're working on that became, you didn't enjoy it as much. Then you switched to Mr. Trask, and now you've really put your best foot forward and you've had success in it. So where's your mind? How's your mind changed? How's your motivation changed?
Yeah, I had a YouTube channel, and it was about one video game, Sea of Thieves, which has yet to be released. And I thought it was a very cool video game. I started a YouTube channel about it, just spreading news that I got from different sites and stuff like that. But after a while it wasn't not successful, I mean, after 4 months or so, I had like 600 subscribers. So, I mean, I was doing okay. And the thing is, I was always thinking, like, what happens when this game burns out? I mean, when people stop playing this game, what happens after that? Also, is this game going to be great? because it's not yet released. Is it going to be great as I think it's going to be? Also, I was always waiting for the official people to say stuff, to spread news, which I could then spread to my viewers. And then there were 2 weeks that there wasn't any news. I wasn't really able to make videos, so I just saw this pile of books, Dungeons and Dragons books, and I was like, you know what? Got some free time on my hands. I'm gonna try this, and now I'm doing something. I mean, this video game has been an interest of mine for half a year, while Dungeons and Dragons has been a passion of mine for 16 years. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons for me is my greatest passion. It is just my greatest hobby. It's one of the greatest things in my life. So that's how it changed for me. I was able to bring my passion, my real passion about something to other people, and people were liking it for some reason. So yeah, that's why. Also, I have to admit, I learned a lot from the previous channel, like mistakes in editing and stuff like that, and how my camera got angled, and background, for example, and lights. I have some special camera lights set up.
Things were learned.
Yeah, things were learned, absolutely. And just at the right moment, I got like with this Dungeons and Dragons channel. I was like, "Wow, okay, this could work," and it really pumped me up to go out and get this background, get some lights, set up my camera good enough, clean up a room so I have space to make videos. So yeah, I don't know if I'm making any sense with what I'm saying.
Oh no, it's making sense. And it's making a lot of sense. It's just a philosophy kind of thing, because you've obviously seen a difference, and now you felt the difference, right? So it's more along the lines of, for the people who are out there looking to do their own thing, or looking to kind of rogue or branch off into their own thing. What are the tidbits that you did kind of that made you successful, and that makes you really enjoy what you're doing, because it shows. So this is to help those people as well.
Yeah, for me it is also.
But
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, please.
For me, it's also like 3 people who had never played Dungeons and Dragons started playing Dungeons and Dragons because of my channel, that I know of. Like people who were always like, Dungeons and Dragons, that seems cool, that seems okay, and they like friends of mine, people I know. And they just started playing because they see how passionate I am about it. I mean, I had a guy who I have been playing Xbox with for a lot of years now. I've never met in real life. He suddenly asked me if he could come over for me to give him some advice to start playing Dungeons and Dragons. So he came over and I explained to him what Dungeons and Dragons was, and he was totally amazed. While if I didn't start that channel, he would probably never have discovered that game. And for me, that's so amazing. If he is going to have fun with that game, I just know if I make him try it once, he will have fun and he will be addicted for life.
Forever.
Yeah. And also, I want to create content that I would watch myself. Not, don't get me wrong, I would not watch myself, because watching yourself is really awkward. But I mean, I try to create content. I had a really hard time finding a channel that just does reviews on the books. It's always a part of a channel, some books, some reviews, but not a channel that really does reviews on the books. And I was like, I have enough books to start doing that, so why not? People, if I want to see that, then there are going to be more people who want to see that, I think.
Oh, for sure. Scratching your own itch, right?
Yeah.
Just scratching your own itch and providing that kind of information for people. Fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
No, thank you, really.
I really do consider you a fantastic friend. I've loved the growth so far, and all the videos that you come out, I really do genuinely look forward to watching them and getting your insights from it. I really do enjoy it. Super excited to see what 2018 brings because I got a really good feeling about 2018. And looking forward to where you go because the content is fantastic.
Well,
Also,
first of all, I'm going to upload this on my channel too. So just to say to my subscribers, check this guy's channel out right here. He he has I don't know how many subscribers you have right now, but it is really worth it. And I want to tell you, you should keep doing what you do because you have a great energy about the way you talk about Zenith's Guide and stuff like that. You're just sitting in front of your camera, like I'm standing in front of my camera talking about, I don't know, something from the Zenith's Guide, and you have that same passion, that same vibe going on, like, yeah, Dungeons and Dragons is the coolest game in the world. So it's really worth. I will link the channel for your journey in this description below, no problem. So thank you for having me. That's.
Oh, it's been such a pleasure. And once again, I didn't mention the channel's name's Kyle Kearney. I run Forge Your Journey. And once again, I won't scream it because I'm an adult now. I'll just say it. If you haven't played Dungeons and Dragons yet, your quality of life is a little bit lower than it should be. And all you really have to do is pick up the game, break that boundary of role-playing, and you will find yourself completely consumed by the game. It'll be on your mind during work, dinner dates, it doesn't matter. You will be thinking about it nonstop because look at myself and Mr. Trask right now. We make videos on it.
I will scream it. I actually dare to scream it. I mean, it is. I like the way you put it. Like your quality in life is less because you don't play it, and that is actually true. I mean, that's actually what I tell people. Like, you don't play Dungeons and Dragons? Your problem. I mean, you're missing something. That's all I can say. You are missing something.
Let me help you. I just want to help you.
It's such a big. I don't get living without it. I don't get that. I wouldn't be able to live without it. I'm seriously about that.
No, for a world consumed by fantasy right now, everyone loves games. Everyone loves the whole fantasy aspect, and D&D is the best complement to it. And it's a way for us to get together without our phones for once. We won't stare on our phones, and we can sit around a table, laugh, roll some dice. And when it comes down to it, we're just laughing around a table, like making some stuff up. So
yeah.
Don't make things overcomplicated. Don't overthink it. It's not scary. Just try it and have the time of your life. It's not for some people, but you can at least try it.
I actually had, I don't know who it was. I think it was my brother, but I'm not sure, who said, how can you play this if you don't see what's going on? And I was like, first of all, a guy...
We need to work on you.
No. I was like, a guy who's programming a video game. He doesn't see what's going on until he creates it. I mean, he has to visualize it before it's put on the screen. If you read about Harry Potter, you're actually sitting next to Harry Potter in the classroom when you're reading. You are walking through Hogwarts, through the halls of Hogwarts when you're reading Harry Potter. So why wouldn't you be able to visualize Dungeons and Dragons from your own mind, which is the most powerful tool you have? And
you got it.
He's still not playing.
He needs to flex that imagination.
That didn't work.
Until next time. Once again, Mr. T, you're the man. I can't wait to talk to you again and see your insights and reviews and things down the line. Can't wait for it.
Anytime,
and
man. Really, anytime.
Keep rolling those dice, buddy. We'll all be watching.
All right. Anytime. Peace.
All right. Peace.